I rise today to speak about an urgent challenge facing our nation. One that, if left unresolved, could lead to an economic and moral disaster. This challenge is the uncertain future of our dreamers, individuals who embody the very spirit of the American dream. These dreamers were brought to this country as children without any fault of their own. They grew up with our kids, attended our schools. They pledged allegiance to our flag, the only flag that they've ever known. If given the chance, many would die for it, as many have done through their service in the military. They share the same hopes, the same dreams, and the same dedication to building an America as all of us. They contribute as taxpayers, small business owners, educators, artists, and aspiring public servants. And during the pandemic, they stepped up as essential workers. They served as doctors, nurses, and first responders to keep our communities healthy and safe. But instead of being recognized and celebrated, they live under the fear of constant threat, not because of their actions, but because of our inaction. They live in fear that at any moment their lives could be uprooted by the stroke of a pen, or a court decision, or a tweet. Every day they contribute to our communities, strengthen our economy, and make America a place worth living in. Let's make one thing clear, Mr. Speaker. Immigrants are dreamers and are a tremendous economic force in the good of this country. Regardless of what some people in the majority may say or want to believe, one study found that immigrants account for 17% of the U.S. GDP, or more than $3.3 trillion. And make no mistake, dreamers pay their fair share and more. Since 2020, when President Obama created the DACA program, DACA recipients have paid some $20 billion in federal and payroll taxes, and a further $13 billion in state and local taxes. In my very own home state of Texas, which has the second highest number of DACA recipients, dreamers contribute over $16 billion annually to our state's economy. Let's be clear, Mr. Speaker. The U.S. economy cannot afford to lose this workforce, the talent, and the drive that dreamers bring to this country. In Texas alone, if DACA were to end, it would result in an estimated 2,600 job losses every single month, including 200 healthcare jobs and 100 educators. That is nothing short of a national failure. Congress has a responsibility to act and pass solutions. Bipartisan bills like mine, the American Dream and Promise Act, could pass in this House today if only it were brought to a vote. This legislation would provide dreamers with the security they deserve and ensure our economy remains competitive. According to some estimates, creating a pathway to citizenship for dreamers would increase the GDP by over $799 billion in 10 years. That is not chump change. And it would create more than 250,000 jobs. Unfortunately, very few Republicans are working with us and are even willing to sit down and talk so that we can move forward on this issue. But for the sake of our economy and our future, I hope that course changes. Mr. Speaker, please work with me and my Democratic colleagues to get this done. I know we can take care of dreamers and immigrants who contribute to our economy and do more together to secure our border. To close, I want to share the story of 3 fellows who served in my office this past year. They served our constituents, upheld our Constitution, and exemplified what it means to be an American, all well knowing we could never even hire them in the end, full time. They were dreamers. They were bright, young, dedicated people who deserve a permanent place here without fear of deportation. They and their families deserve better. It's time for Congress to work together on a bipartisan basis to pass the American Dream and Promise Act and to keep the American dream alive. We cannot let it die. We cannot let it go cold. Step up, act with courage. Let's pass the American Dream and Promise Act. Let's secure our border and unleash the economic potential of dreamers across the country. Mr. Speaker, I yield back.